And welcome to another episode of the Buffoon Sports Talk. I'm Troy Alexander. With me, as always, Jake Hoffman.
Hey, everybody. We've got an episode going today, and it's going to be the first episode of our Top 10 series. And essentially what this is, we the Buffoons, we love lists. We love, talking about, current standings in the sports world and in the history of sports, and so we always love talking, top 10 lists, whether it be, right now, all time. And so we decided, we should have this debate on the podcast and start our own top 10 series and kind of share it with the audience. And so today is going to be that. So, Troy, what's our first topic for the top 10 series today?
So, a lot of different parity in the NBA because of what's happened this past summer. And we've noticed that it's a super hot take. Top 10 players in the NBA from 1 to 10 in your order.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
And, we want to do a ton of these top 10 series. We're going to probably try to do at least one a week, or maybe, we'll kind of see just based on what you guys think of it. If you literally throw us any top 10 you want, it could be like top 10 quarterbacks of all time, top 10 first baseman of all time, or it doesn't have to be all time. It could be current. It could even be it could even be your top 10 cereals of all time. What do you like to eat?
That would be a really good one and a really difficult one, to be completely honest with you. Cereals?
Should we do pizza then?
We're going to have to stop right now before we actually get into the debate.
All right. Let us know what you think. If you want more of these, let us know in a comment. Shoot us at our email, buffoonsportstalk@gmail.com. Let us know what you guys think. So, for me, and I think just about every other NBA fan, it's an awesome season, dude. Because the last 5 years, the Warriors have dominated. You can say, okay, I don't know if they've dominated because they won 3 out of the last 5. So there has been 2 different teams that have beaten them. But for the most part, they've dominated.
I mean, you knew before the season started that they were going to the finals. So it wasn't that interesting. I mean, it was pretty evident that you could place a bet on them going to the finals, and it was a pretty secure bet.
Right. And with Kawhi's performance all last postseason and in the finals, a lot of people have been, questioning, hey, is maybe Kawhi's taking that torch or someone else? So, without further ado, I want to get to our top 10 list in order, and I'm going to start with you, Jake. Go start from number 10 and work your way down.
All right. Well, so number 10, this was really tough because it was between 2 players for me, and the 2 players are Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. I decided to go with Nikola Jokic simply just because, I've been down on him. I've been saying for a little while that he's not a superstar and that he's just an all-star. But I do believe, especially after watching him last night against the Suns, I would have to say that he is probably a superstar.
About freaking time.
He is dominant, but it was his passing. Really, really taking time to really watch his game. His ability to pass the basketball is so good. And so I'd probably put him at number 10.
Dude, they're literally running the offense through Jokic. He brings the ball up the court as a center. That. I don't even know if I've ever seen that in the last, I don't even know how many years. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. So I take back what I said. I'm about as wrong on the Nikola Jokic thing as you were on the Kirk Cousins thing. So we'll get to that another time. Number 9, I've got Paul George. I think Paul George does it all. I mean, he scores. He's a great shooter. He's a great defensive player. I mean, he made all NBA first team defense. Was third in MVP voting. Shoots well from the field. And, I just think overall he's a great player. Number 9, I've got Kyrie Irving. I think he is one of the best point guards in the game. I think he's got the best, arguable between him and Steph as to who's got the best actual handles in the game. But I think you could easily make that argument for Kyrie. He's got the ability to just take over a game and just completely crush you. And he hits clutch shots. So he's number 8. Number 7, I've got Anthony Davis. A lot of people would say that's really low for Anthony Davis. I would say, there's just a lot of really good players in the NBA right now that I had to rank higher than him. And as a big man, look, I think that right now this is a point guard-driven league, or a guard-driven league at least, where shooting and, running the offense is a huge, huge part of the game. So I just personally, I've got him at 7. Number 6, I've got James Harden. Now, if you're talking offensively, he'd probably be number 2 or 3, to be completely honest with you. Even potentially number 1, because he's a freak offensively. What he was able to do, especially last year, he completely carried the Rockets through a stretch where they were playing poorly. But he doesn't play that good at defense, even when he tries, and he doesn't try that often. But even when he tries, he's about average at best, I feel, on defense. Maybe slightly above average. If you got different thoughts on that, Troy, let me know. But I feel like he's just average at best on defense. I personally haven't seen them get it done. So then at number 5, I've got Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What was his last name?
Giannis I struggle here. I will be honest. You know what? Antetokounmpo. I just call him Antetokounmpo because it is what it is, and I'm going to continue to. So.
Greek freak.
Yeah, I'll just call him Giannis, but
There you go.
It's Antetokounmpo. Whatever. That's just what he's getting called. He's getting Antetokounmpo. The Coombe. So yeah, but I've got him at number 5. Your MVP. I'd probably have him even higher, but again, I think that this is a guard-driven league. Number 4, I've got Steph Curry. I think his impact on the game, you might argue that he doesn't play that good at defense. He doesn't. He still gets some good steals, though. But his impact on offense, his ability to change the game, his ability to create his own shot and get his shot up so quick because he just shoots from his chest. It's insane how dominant he is offensively, and how he's just changed the game of the NBA. So yeah, number 3, I've got LeBron James.
Wow.
This was tough. I have LeBron at number 1 over the last 8 or 9 years, but I felt just over the last year or so. He's gotten a little bit older. He's declined a little bit, and these 2 other players have just kind of, I feel like, entered their prime and are just a slight nudge above LeBron James. It's the smallest nudge, but I just think they're there because of what they're still able to do defensively, and that's where LeBron kind of lacks right now, is his defensive game. And so number 2, I've got Kawhi Leonard. I think he just proved it with Toronto again. He's proving it again right now with the Clippers. I know we're only 2 games into the season right now. We're 3 tonight. They're playing the Suns. Actually, they get started here right in just a few minutes. But, Kawhi is probably the second best player in the game right now. Some would even argue the first, because the first best that I'm going to name right now is injured. But Kawhi is just he's a freak on defense. He's got a mid-range jumper, and he's a silent killer. Number 1 is KD. I think when KD is healthy, his length, his ability to shoot, his handles, his defense, everything makes him such a tough mismatch. I think he can just completely take over games where there's absolutely nothing you can do. You can make the right play. You can do everything right. We're on film. Your coach would be like, hey, I don't know what to tell you to do better here. He just hits his shots, He's just making freak shots because of his length and his mismatch capabilities and whatnot. And so, he's out now with the Achilles injury. He's out all season long. But when healthy, when playing, I take KD right now over any player in the world. That does not mean I think he's better all time than LeBron. I still think LeBron is in the top 5 all time. I don't think KD has even cracked the top 10 yet. I think he will, but I don't think he's there yet. And I don't think Kawhi will crack the top 10 all-time list since we're, talking about top 10 lists. So that's my list, Troy. What are your thoughts? And I'd probably have Damian Lillard at 12. He's probably my honorable mention, like outside of Joel Embiid. You know, if I've got Embiid at 11, I'd have Damian at 12.
Well, I mean, our lists are pretty much the same, but I mean, different orders. And it's a wing-driven league. I don't think it's a guard-driven league. I mean, history has shown that like the last 10 years or so, maybe a little less. If you've got a great wing or multiple wings, you're probably going to win. I mean, look at the Raptors last year. They had like 3 wings, like 4 wings actually.
But do you think they win with a healthy Kevin Durant?
I still actually think the Raptors win.
Healthy Klay Thompson?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I just think Golden State looked tired. I thought they looked overmatched. I thought Toronto had every type of ingredient. Like, when you look at Toronto's roster, dude, like Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, that, like, you want to talk about starting fives around the entire league? That's got to be top 3 starting lineups right there. You could argue that Golden State's up there too, but it's not just that, dude. They had so many wings that can just guard and defend and shoot, like Ibaka, Danny Green, Siakam, Leonard. You got 4 guys that can guard multiple positions and hit shots for you, and that's exactly what Golden State's been doing the last 5 years. They've had multiple wings that can shoot and defend, and Klay Thompson, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green. You've got amazing defenders that are able to do all those things.
I guess that's what I'm saying with Steph and KD. You still don't think that the Warriors take down the Raptors in the finals with KD and Klay?
No, I don't. I thought Golden State's bench was a shell of itself. I mean, Durant's even come out with comments like he just felt like he wasn't a Warrior. He didn't feel like he was one of the guys. I just kind of felt like everything kind of snowballed into something really bad that year. And I thought the Raptors were a better team. Kawhi was rested because he was able to rest all regular season. And they had a crazy-ass stat where it's like I don't even remember the number, but they were like 20 games above 500 without Leonard in the regular season. And their point differential, as far as defense in the regular season compared to the postseason, was like second all time, only behind the 2004 Pistons, who had probably the best defense of all time out of any team. So when you pair that with guys that are able to make shots, and I'm leaving out Fred VanVleet, a guy that hit so many big shots for the Raptors. I just think the Raptors were the better team, but I don't want to go off topic. I mean, we all know where Leonard is now, and unfortunately the Clippers. But I'm gonna start out my number 10, I got Paul George. I mean, the guy can do just about anything. The only knock I really have on him is he's just not able to lead his teams, dude. Like, you can argue he's had his chances. I mean, he's been third in MVP voting. Difference between him, Giannis, James Harden, all of these guys are able to lead teams to more rounds than just the first. I mean, if you're third in MVP voting, you have Russell Westbrook, not saying Westbrook's the most efficient player, I feel like you should be able to beat the Trailblazers round 1. Like, I don't know, I just have kind of that little knock on Paul George.
Yeah, but I would say Paul George got it done in Indiana you know what I mean? He took that team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
In the East, yeah. And then, I mean, he did play well in the conference finals, but I don't know. Like, and the sucky part for George is I don't think he's going to ever have the chance to prove that he can do it because he's on the stacked Clippers team with a top 3 player in the league. So for me, I don't know if that point will ever get proven. But for me, Paul George is number 10. Number 9, I've got Nikola Jokic, best center in the game. Denver runs their offense through them. Denver runs their offense through Jokic. Best big man passer in the league. I think he's kind of a better version of Marc Gasol. He's a lot like Marc Gasol, I think. But, I mean, it's crazy, dude. Like, I don't even know if I've ever seen a center playing point guard. I think he's just such a skilled player, man. Number 8, I have Kyrie Irving. Like, easily an offensive generational talent. Like, He's one of my favorite players. I miss the LeBron, Kyrie Irving days, man. I always felt like that was LeBron's best teammate he's ever had. Said that since day one. But and the Nets team is going to be scary next year. They already have a lot of nice pieces like Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert. Like, that team is stacked, especially when I'm not even mentioning DeAndre Jordan coming off the bench. So I love that. I love that Nets team. But Kyrie Irving for me, man, he's just shot maker, just clutch, creative. I love it. I love him as a player. 7, I've got Steph Curry, best shooter of all time. I think he does struggle with taller players because he's not the biggest guard in the world. That's one of the reasons he struggled against Toronto last year in the finals, because they were able to get their length on him, and it was hard for him to get shots up. Outside of that, I mean, of course, his defense has always come into question, but the way the guy's able to impact a game is just unmatched. Defenses have to prepare so hard for him, and now it's a little easier to clamp down on him because Golden State doesn't have as many weapons. Clay's out, some more is put on him, probably more than ever, really, and it showed in that Clippers game, and they just kind of doubled him, and it was hard for him to get shots up with the Clippers' length, same thing as the Raptors. So, but I still got Steph as number 7. And number 6, I've got James Harden. Like, him, Kyrie, Harden, Kyrie, and Steph are probably like the 3 most skilled offensive players in the league right now. Harden is like, he's like doing what Curry has done. Like, Curry's changed the game. He's changed the game as far as like perimeter shooting and what we didn't think was possible. He's making it possible. But Harden's like taking the creativity aspect. Like, Harden's trying 3-point shots off one leg. And like his different shots that he makes, he's just so crafty. And he can defend when he wants to. He can defend when he really tries. Maybe we'll see it more this year that he's able to defend more.
Do you think he's above average when he tries, or just average?
I think he's above average. I think he's an above average defender when he wants to be, but he just, I feel like his problem has always been like, 1, yeah, he doesn't really try on defense, but 2, he's always had to carry the load for the Rockets that he's not able to expend so much energy on defense. Maybe with Russell being able to lead a team when Harden's off the floor, maybe Harden will show some more lack and put some more effort in defensively. I don't know. I would like to see it because if the Rockets couldn't get their defense on point, then Rockets are a contender. But I love James Harden. I think he's freaking amazing. Number 5, I've got Anthony Davis. I think he can be number 1 eventually. I think he's that good. Right now, I just think there's more established players. I mean, AD's established. He's a top 5 player, but he struggles with big centers, and he, 3-point shooting is a hot commodity in the NBA, and that's something he doesn't really have. So I think because of that, he gets a little downgraded. But I don't know. I mean, he's he's another generational talent. Like, Anthony Davis is amazing. And defensively, I mean, we all know what he can do. He can guard the 1 through 5. Not a lot of players can do that. Number 5. So I took into account the injury for Kevin Durant, and I still have him number 4. I don't know if he'll ever come back to being Kevin Durant after this injury. But, I mean, once again, another player that changed the NBA. I mean, we've never seen a 7-footer be able to handle the ball like that, shoot like that. He's improved his defense so much. He's improved his passing so much. Like, I remember that final series against the Thunder and the Heat. I just remember just LeBron schooling him, dude. Just, Durant wasn't a good defender. Like, and LeBron could just bully him in the post. And Durant really worked on his defense, really worked on his ball handling, and then 2 years later, he won MVP. And then we saw what he did in Golden State. He really improved then, and he became the ultimate player. And I think Durant right now is the second best small forward of all time, behind LeBron James. I think Durant is that good, and I think Durant will crack top 10. Let's hope he gets back to being Durant, because it's good for basketball when he's healthy. So best of luck to him. And that Nets team, once again, is going to be so damn scary next year. And then number 3, I've got Giannis Antetokounmpo. A lot of people have him number 1, but I feel like a lot of his deficiencies show in the playoffs. I feel like teams are able to clamp down his weaknesses, which is his jump shot. And I think adding Kyle Korver this year and a sleeper in Wesley Matthews, I think that's going to open up the floor for Giannis more. He's such a skilled passer. Like, Giannis is one of the most talented players I've ever seen play basketball. And his knock is his jump shot. If he's able to get a significant, consistent jump shot, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to do anything to this guy. Right now, it's hard to even do anything. So, dude, I think eventually the faces of the league and the 1 and 2 best players in the league will be Giannis and Anthony Davis, and I think Luka Doncic will be up there too, like top 5 for sure. Number 2, man, this one was tough for me because I've seen LeBron dominate the NBA for the last 10 years. I know he hasn't won every year, but he's gone to the finals 8 straight years before last year. And before I see otherwise in the playoffs, I can't count against him. Number 2, I put Kawhi Leonard. Like like based off 2 games this year, it looks so easy for Kawhi to do things. Like, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. He just raises above you, and he's able to get higher than people. He's just, with his gigantic hands and his arm strength, he's able to get the ball over you and just shoot wherever he wants. Defensively, y'all know what a nightmare he is for other players. I mean, they don't call him the Claw for a reason, you know? And he's won 2 championships on 2 different teams. He's make it a 3rd this year. He makes his teammates better. His passing is really underrated. He's such a skilled passer. Like, overall right now, you could argue he's the best all-around player. But until something happens in the playoffs, I never count against LeBron James in the playoffs in a 7-game series. Because of that, I've got LeBron number 1. I think this year it could be a combination of a few things. Like, LeBron hasn't played a regular season game or even a NBA game for that matter since February or March of this past year. So hasn't played for 7 months. Kawhi Leonard just played in June. He looks a lot more fresh. He's more familiar with the game. Things just look easier for Kawhi than they do for LeBron. And is that a combination of LeBron getting older? Probably. I mean, the guy's going to be 35 this year. He's got, like, 20,000 plus minutes. Like, he's going to crack the most minutes played all time. So, still, though, to be a top 3 player, for how, in most people's eyes, a top 3 player, whether you do 1, 2nd, or 3rd best player in the league, to have the longevity he's had and to still be considered in a top 3 player in the current game is still unbelievable. For me, I've still got LeBron, number 1. It's going to take some type of playoff from Kawhi to knock him out for me to really say, okay, maybe it's time for LeBron to pass the torch. And I think the next person in line would be Kawhi Leonard.
Well, I mean, it looks like we both agree on the players in the top 10. It looks like the order varies a little bit. I mean, we agreed on Kyrie. It looks like, to me, the thing that you value more than I do is big man play and a lot of defense. I value a lot of the offensive impact, it looks like, between, like, Steph and James Harden and, Paul George and Kyrie. And it looks like I value shooting a lot more. Troy is the NBA expert and, definitely knows more when it comes to basketball. So, we felt like this list would be interesting to do to kind of compare what I've done to him. And we'll definitely have to do more of these, I think we should look at doing, top 10s for, different positions, maybe even some top 10 all-time lists, like some top 10 basketball players of all time. Like, I know we were, that's a little interesting debate about, maybe Durant being in the top 10, where LeBron falls. I mean, I think it's definitely LeBron is in the top 5 no matter what, no matter how you want to slice it. He ends up in the top 5 all time, But it'd be interesting to just kind of see where we have him. We might vary a little bit on that.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to do a lot more top 10 lists, especially if you guys really like these. I mean, literally, like, I'll be coming home from work or whatever, and Jake will be like, hey, hop on Discord. So I hop on Discord, just randomly, Troy, throw me your top 10 quarterbacks of all time. And we literally just have these random conversations about top 10 and, like, everything. So we want to throw these out there and get everyone's opinions on them because they're fun. You can do top 10 in just about anything.
Yeah, we'll get the other buffoons involved as well.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, hopefully you guys found this video entertaining today. If you guys did, please, give it a like, share it, follow us. We're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We are the Buffoons Sports Talk. And, share this with someone and get in on the discussion as well. If you disagree with our order or our list right now, or you think we left someone out and snubbed someone from the top 10, tweet us. Let us know at the Buffoons Sports Talk. So you all have a great week, and we'll see you again for another episode next time.
Later, buffooners.